Broadsword calling Danny boy. Broadsword calling Danny boy. Over.
What was that?
Hi guys, and welcome to another Trials of the Michi Bushido video. We're talking about pirates again, and also ninjas this time. So it's just going to be a bit of a chit chat. I've made a bit of progress on my Jung Pirate board, more specifically a pirate ship that I've been working on for Mary Jung. And I can take this off now. I've embarrassed myself doing that. And there's also been a Wave 31 bit of a teaser released by Bushido on their news today. A little ninja called Ujimushi, so we'll discuss him as well later on in the video. Fairly short one, no battle report this time. I do have a day set up tomorrow for some Bushido gaming, so whether I get to film that or not, I'm not sure. But that's with some mates of mine, James, Matt and Bradley. Brad's a good mate of mine, and he's just finished painting up quite a lot of Temple, so hopefully I can get him on some videos. I know Lee has also posted some pictures up about his Tengu. He's now got his Tengu and he's put them together, so hopefully as well there'll be some more battle reports coming up, not just with his Silver Moon but with his Tengu as well. So a bit of a broader range, and all the local guys still I'm trying to get on film to get some more battle reports out for you. So a bit of progress on my Jung Pirates. You'll have, if any of you follow me, you'll have seen I've been working on a pirate ship. So I got this beauty. You'll see the scale of it. Not black with my t-shirt, you probably can't see. But this bad boy I got from Dark Ops. It was a bit of a beast to put together. The sails at the moment are just sort of holding sails just to sort of get the impression of what I'm going to go for. I might have both of them up, because when they're down they just cover sort of half the ship, so you can't really see. And that is it, just undercoated black. What you'll see on the other side, I've taken the airbrush to it, and this is what it will look like on the other side once I've actually done it. So pink to go with the Jung Pirates and to go with Mary Jung. I'm calling this the Jolly Octopussy. So this is Mary Jung's pirate ship. I think I'm going to have to get another one to do up for some of the other guys in Jung Pirates. Maybe Yuji needs a ship, and if there's any future releases of other sort of captain looking people. Also I'm going to have to paint the deck brown. I think if you've seen the video with my starter set painted up, they've all got brown decking on the bases, so that's going to have to be painted up as well. And then I do need to do something more elaborate for sails. I've also painted up, you can see it, part of the Jung Pirates logo, the octopus, to go on the ship, and that fits nicely in the back there, you can see. So when it's all painted up, hopefully that will look alright. So that's the progress I've made on the pirate ship. I haven't yet ordered, wait till payday, the rest of the Jung Pirates that were released at Gen Con, the purely Jung Pirate guys. So that's the shark, the guy with the big anchor. We've got loads of other models there, but I have got the 4 extra guys that you get that are already models that we've discussed on a previous video. One of the Rose, the Kami, Koji, who's now called Zephyr without any monkeys, and Ashinaga Tanaga. So I've actually built them, which I'll do a close-up to show you. The Rose Soiren is kind of as she is normally, she just doesn't have an umbrella. I've put that on the floor. Again on decking to go like they're on a boat for her. The Kami, the water Kami, nothing special there, just built as it's supposed to be. I'm going to put sand on the base. But the other 2, Ashinaga Tanaga, he has a bit of a, there's some wood spare bits from the boat, but it's kind of looked like he's doing a bit of fishing in a little bucket or something, and that's again going to be sand on his base, only because I don't have the decking for the bigger bases. And finally, my favourite, very minor conversion. You can't use the monkeys, as far as I'm aware, with Zephyr. There's no. He's replaced sort of his monkey stuff with Vitality to give him 3 actions in a turn. So I've stuck 2 of the monkeys just on his base. And if any of you know the model anyway, he usually has a big long staff that he's using as if he's pole vaulting. So I've actually cut that off and stuck it around the other way. And again, he stood on some little like barrel-y things, like looking out as if he's a lookout on a boat, on the front of the boat. So he's a tiny little minor conversion. So once I've got these guys painted up, but this should allow me to have at least 50 rice for a full-size game before I get the other Jung Pirates, which will be in a week or 2. Not too long to wait for that. So that's kind of where I am with the Jung Pirates. I will spin around at the end and show you them a bit closer if you're interested. And also I will put the Jolly Octopussy on the board, which is just behind the camera, just so that you can see the scale of it on the board, because it takes up about 1/8 of the board. So the thing I'm conscious about in game is that if there's no ladders or anything, it's going to kind of be treated as impassable. So what I'm keen to get is ropes coming off the ship, any ladders. So if any of you guys have any ideas, pop them in the comments of how I can have some gangplanks or ramps or decking coming off the side, or netting maybe coming down, or ropes, anything that will make it easy to traverse onto the boat, because I do want lots of fighting going on the deck of the boat. That should make it pretty cool, and I will get it filmed in some match reports, some battle reports when I get to play them. So that's the Jung Pirates sorted. So the next thing that I mentioned that's been released today is Ujimushi, who is a cheaper Kage ninja. So any of you guys, you'll probably know Kage ninjas were my first love with Bushido, and now the Pirates. So the two together are my 2 favourite factions. So I'm really excited about this, and it's actually turning my head a little bit back to the ninjas. So when this guy comes out in wave 31, I think it is, he looks awesome. So if you've not seen the stat card, it'll be up on screen now. And a picture of the model. Looks like he's crouched over with a short bow in his right hand. And he is one of my favourite sculpts so far. I love him. I really like him. So I can't wait to get him painted up and bought. And because he is cheaper, he's only 7 rice, it is going to mean that we Kage players will be able to mix up our warbands a little. At the moment, you tend to only get 5 in a full 50 rice game. So hopefully with this guy at 7, and the other guys that are coming, they're a little bit cheaper, but also with the Kappa, it hopefully will allow us now to have 6 models and also mix up the mix of models, because I'm conscious that, or I was before, that the 2 expensive guys, Karasu, I think is 11, Katsumi's 12. It was a real push to get those guys in if you wanted to put upgrades on as well, if you weren't playing the theme that gave them free upgrades. So hopefully now you can have those 2 with perhaps this Ujimushi guy and the Kappa. So let's quickly go through the stat card. Ujimushi, as you'd expect, he's a ninja, so he has got decent stats across the board. So 3 melee, 3 ranged, 4 move, and 1/6 key. So he will struggle initially against things like fear or any key heavy warbands that you're against. There is something later on, unique effects, that will help with this, which I'll discuss. They all have, apart from the key stats, they all have 3 key or 3 chi to boost. So you can boost the melee, boost the range, or boost the movement, which is nice. You'll only be able to do it probably in turns 2 onwards though, because he only generates 1 base. Again, we'll discuss something later on. He is a ninja. His traits, he has assassin like all the other ninjas, so that allows you, if you surprise somebody on an attack, you get to roll 3 damage dice and take the 2 highest instead of normally 2. He's got camouflage 2 again like all the other ninjas, so you can't target him unless you start your activation within 2 inches of him if he is benefiting from cover. So again, it will make him quite tricky to target. Light-footed, so he can ignore any any difficult ground. He doesn't have lightweight though, which some of the other ranged ninjas have, so he can't move and fire with ignoring the negative modifier for it, so he will want to really be stood still. But when we go on to his short bow, it has a greater distance than the other ranged models, so that probably isn't going to be too much of an issue. And then he's got reload 1, so every time he fires he's actually going to have to do a simple action to reload, which makes sense. He's going to have to take an arrow out of his wherever he keeps his arrows and then string it again to fire. He has 6 wounds like all of the ninjas, but he doesn't have any armour, so he's going to be squishier than the other guys a little bit. He has -1 to his melee, so this guy really is going to be a ranged guy. He will be able to get in and do a bit of work in melee, but at -1 to the damage roll, it's not going to be as effective as some of the guys you have access to. But he does have +1 to his ranged damage, so again you are really going to want to be getting ranged stuff out of him. And his ranged distances are 5, 10, 15, so he's got a 15-inch range on his short bow, which is quite handy. So back onto unique effects on the back of the card. So during deployment, this model gains the key feat of 1 friendly model in the warband. It's assumed that the key feat is written on this model's profile card, so basically you could duplicate any other key feat that you have access to as a ninja. Now, I've seen on the Facebook group and on the forums there's been some discussion about rapid fire, so Hail of Steel, which both Bikao and Kuhai have. So that is an obvious one to take because he's ranged. Now, as of yet, I'm not sure whether it's been clarified, but because he has a reload 1 marker, and because of the current wording in the rulebook, this does allow you, unless it gets errated or clarified, to use Hail of Steel to get 3 shots a turn before the reload marker then gets put on the model. That is the way I think the current wording stands. There has been some discussion previously, before this model was released, about Kuhai, I think it is, who has ammo markers, and I think because Kuhai has ammo 3 and Hail of Steel gets 3 shots. Previously, I think it was played that the one shooting action, which allows 3 shots, only counts as 1 shot in all intents and purposes for ammo and for reload. So I think at the moment that is how it will be played with Ujimushi. So he can get to fire 3 times in 1 turn before the reload marker goes on, and then he obviously has to clear that before he can then fire 3 times using Hail of Steel again. So Hail of Steel seems pretty good and tends to be the one that people will look at straight away. For me though, there's a couple of other contenders. So Ghost has Apparition, so he gets to do a 2-inch dodge, so that would be quite good. So again, because he's not lightweight, he will get a negative modifier if he moves and fires, so this one will help him either get into cover or dodge a little bit closer to then get in range, either into medium range or short range for a better shot without then being classed as moving. Vitality is always a good one. That reduces your tiredness level by 1, so this will allow him to fire, reload, and then use Vitality to reduce his tiredness, so he still has an action left to shoot again, so he can still, without Hail of Steel, fire twice in a turn if you have the chi to enable him to do Apparition. And then the other 2 are on Shizuka that I think would be useful with Ujimushi. So there's Mirage, which will just make him a bit safer from melee attacks. It means that when somebody moves into base-to-base with him, he gets to do a key feat against them, a key test against them, an opposed key test, and if he's successful he gets to get a 2-inch dodge out of melee, so he's basically negating their attack. With a normal key statistic of 1, that might not be particularly effective, but we'll come on to something else in a second. The other one is Shadow Walk, which I think would be quite good. Again, something that Shizuka has. If this model is out of line of sight of an enemy model, you can place it within 3 of its current location. This key feat can only be used once per action. And that one, which I think will be quite useful, is it only costs 1 chi. So because he only generates 1, and it has a base of 1 to start with, you'll be able to do that off the bat. And if you position him well with camouflage and things, he'll be able to be dodging all over the place, getting these special dodges. So they're the ones for me that I would get to pick. There are other options for certain things if you want to be doing certain things. There might be some interesting interactions with Kappa. So again, you can include a Kappa in a warband with ninjas. So he has 2 grapple, you can gain immobilise attack, might be handy in certain circumstances, or Quagmire. so you can make the ground around you difficult terrain. If you have Kappa and Ujimushi both doing it, you can sort of lock down quite a lot of the board. They're my first thoughts about Ujimushi. Certainly has ignited my excitement for playing the Kage Ninjas again, so I'm really excited for him to come out and to see what else they have in store for us later down the line for ninjas. So that's it really for today, guys. I'll spin round and show you the board as I said, and the close-up for my Jung Pirates. But that's it for this Charles of the Michi. I've been Chris, and I will see you guys next time. Cheerio for now. Slightly premature. I forgot about the last two things on Ujimushi's card, so we'll quickly discuss them now and we'll do a second goodbye. But during the starting phase, choose one of the following. So this model gains 1 key token, 1 chi token, or this model gains +1 to its key statistic until the end phase. So depending on what you want to do with Ujimushi, you can either start him with 2 chi, so he gets 2 a turn instead of 1, or you can boost his key statistic by 1, so then he has a base chi statistic of 2. So both play a decent role. So you can either have him with 2 chi tokens to allow him to do a particular chi feat that you've duplicated, or where I saw it link quite well with Shizuka's Mirage, so that when you do an opposed chi test with somebody, if at the start of the turn you've made him chi statistic 2 instead of 1, it makes him much more effective in that chi opposed role if you're going to be doing Mirage. So again, they're just my first thoughts. This is the second goodbye. You'll get a third one after I've done the camera on the board and the boat. But for now, that's me, and I will catch you next time. Happy Bushidoing, guys, and keep fighting, keep templing and trying to level whatever it is they do. They're trying to keep everyone level and not fighting, or just be mental with Savage Wave and kick the crap out of people. So this is me, and I will catch you next time. Cheers for now. Here we have the board. So here we have the board with the pirate ship on, with the jolly Octopussy. So as you can see, the scale of it is about 1/8 of the size of the board. So quite a big playable area if I can get ramps and stuff to mean that you can actually clamber up on it. You see a bit of a close-up of the logo. And then these are the guys that I've built. So the water kami. You've got Ashinaga Tanaga doing a bit of fishing in his little well or whatever it is. You've got the rose at the back, and then my favourite, you have Zephyr, or Koji to his friends, doing a bit of his lookout job with his monkeys and his staff, sitting on another one of the little welly things. So he would look quite cool, doing a bit of a Titanic on the front, looking out to see if he can see any land. But there you have it, guys. That's it for today. Cheerio.